We often think of resilience as this thing you're either born with or you're not. But what if it's actually a skill you can learn? And what if the best place to learn it wasn't a classroom, but a boxing gym? Today, we're going to break down how this one sport is teaching teenagers one of the most important lessons in life.
So, first things first, let's get this straight. The phrase rolling with the punches isn't just some catchy metaphor. It's a real deal defensive move in boxing. See, instead of trying to just block a hit or dodge it completely, a fighter actually moves with the momentum of the punch. By doing that, you don't absorb the full force. You're accepting it's coming and you're adjusting.
And right there, that's where it all clicks. How does that physical act of neutralizing a punch translate to the kind of hits that teenagers face every single day? Like a bad grade, a friendship falling apart, or just plain old rejection. Well, it turns out the connection is surprisingly direct.
So, how do you actually turn a physical defense into a mental one? It all starts by looking at the gym as a kind of laboratory for life itself.
Think about it like this. When you start lifting weights, what happens to your hands? They get calluses, right? They get tougher, which lets you lift more over time. The idea here is that the mind works in the exact same way. The gym is this controlled, safe space where you face these physical challenges you can actually overcome. And in doing so, you build these, mental calluses that prepare you for the much messier, unpredictable world outside.
Now, this brings us to something that is absolutely crucial, and it's something a lot of teens and, hey, adults too, really struggle with. This deep, paralyzing fear of failure. It can be so intense that it stops you from even trying something new. So how does boxing just short-circuit that whole fear response?
Simple. They make failure a core part of the process. It's not just a possibility, it is a guarantee. The coaches at the Equal Chance Foundation, they don't just expect it, they actually plan on it. Missing the bag, stumbling, getting completely wiped out, it's all just part of the curriculum. And here's the most important part. That's it. Nothing bad happens. There's no angry coach yelling, no team you're letting down, no audience laughing at you. You just take a second, reset your feet, and you try again. That simple, powerful realization is a total game changer. It disconnects the act of failing from the feeling of being a failure. And what grows out of all this safe failure is something the foundation calls quiet strength. This isn't about being the toughest kid in the room or the loudest. It's an unshakable confidence that lives inside you. It's that little voice in your head that, when you're faced with a new challenge, doesn't panic. It just calmly says, okay, I've been here before. I know how to get back up.
So you might be asking, why boxing? Why not soccer or basketball? I mean, all sports are great, right? But the thing is, boxing offers a uniquely personal kind of journey.
Think about the different mindsets. In so many team sports, the pressure is all external. It's about winning the game, not letting your teammates down. Boxing just flips that whole script. The journey is almost entirely internal. It's just you, a heavy bag, and a conversation with your own limits. The only person you're really competing against is who you were yesterday.
In that internal journey, it builds some incredibly practical life skills, like self-regulation, learning to control your breathing and your heart rate when you're under pressure. That's a direct tool for managing anxiety. Focus, the kind of mindfulness you need to be totally present in the ring, that's the perfect antidote to our crazy, distracted world. And respect, for the sport, for your coaches, and maybe most importantly, for yourself. And the program has another really powerful tool. It's a fresh start, and it's symbolized by a simple white t-shirt. When a teen walks into that gym, their bad grades, their past mistakes, what other kids think of them, none of it matters. The white t-shirt means everyone starts on a level playing field. The only thing that earns you respect in here is your willingness to show up and do the work. Okay, but how do these little moments in the gym actually add up to real lasting change? Well, that's what the foundation calls the ripple effect. You can also think of it as the compound effect of small victories. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful chain reaction. It all starts with something small, like maybe you finally learn how to skip rope for 3 minutes straight, or you master a new combo. That small win builds a tiny new piece of a new self-image. You start to think, hey, I'm someone who can overcome challenges if I just stick with it. And that new self-image, it doesn't stay in the gym. You carry it with you into the classroom, to a job interview, into your friendships. And you can almost hear the gears turning in a teen's head when this happens. They start connecting the dots. The logic becomes, well, if sticking with it works on this physical thing, why wouldn't it work on this mental thing, like my fear of public speaking? That confidence becomes transferable. And that, right there, is the ripple effect in action.
Of course, none of this just happens in a vacuum. So let's talk about the organization behind this whole philosophy, the Equal Chance Foundation, and the very real impact they're having.
And when you look at the numbers, their impact is, well, it's pretty undeniable. They've trained over 500 young people so far, and out of that group, they have over 150 documented stories of transformed lives. We're talking about teens who have completely turned things around and found success in school, at work, and in their personal lives. But honestly, this number might be the most telling one of all, a 95% completion rate. Just think about that for a second. In a world where it is so easy to quit anything, that statistic, it just speaks volumes about how engaging and effective this program truly is. So what's the secret sauce? It's the mentors. The coaches are way more than just trainers. They are the steady, non-judgmental presence in these kids' lives. They're the ones who help them connect the dots, who ask the right questions after a tough round, and who really help translate the physical lessons of boxing into a mental toolkit they can use for the rest of their lives. And this is why they do it. This is their mission. It's this core belief that resilience isn't a luxury. It's a fundamental right. It's the armor that every single young person needs to navigate this world, and this foundation is dedicated to making sure they have it. So we end up right back where we started, with this one question. Maybe we've been looking at resilience all wrong. Maybe real strength isn't about building your walls so high that you never get hit. Maybe, just maybe, true resilience is about having the grace, the skill, and the quiet confidence to simply move with it,